I'm not necessarily like the life of the party type of person.
Yeah.
So when I go up there, I'm excited about what I wrote, but it's hard for me to like have exactly what you said. It's hard for me to have the confidence to like go up there and be like, what's up, you know?
Yeah. But like those nights, I am sure you have had performances before where you did kill it and like you had a really good time. And I feel like those nights are so gratifying and like so accomplishing feeling. But I also need to remember like how much anxiety and self-doubt I like trucked through to get to that point. Like the grass isn't always so green. Like there's a lot of feelings that it brings up. I don't know.
Also probably a lot of like, I'm sure a lot of very successful comedians have dealt with similar things.
Oh yeah.
Like one that comes to mind would be Robin Williams.
Yeah.
From what I've heard that Robin Williams, while he, you know, his stage presence, like, I don't know if anyone who's listening has actually seen his stand-up, but if you like look up, he used to do stand-up before he was doing the movies and stuff, but he has this like wild presence, and I've watched like, you know, documentaries about him and stuff, or like read things about him, and apparently he wasn't always like that in his real life. So I have a feeling that you're probably not alone there. I'm sure there's plenty of comedians who have like an outward personality, but I'm sure there's just as many comedians who are like tend to be more introverted, and they have to push themselves to do that, you know?
I think a lot of artists in general are like, because a lot of art is just an expression of your deeper self. And I think a lot of people use it as a way to convey things that maybe they can't convey in their day-to-day. At least I'm just speculating, but this is kind of how it resonates. No, I mean,
you're speculating, but I don't think I think it's like true. I think there's evidence for that. I 100% agree. I think personally for me, the reason I started comedy was because I was so reserved for most of my life.
Same.
Where like, it's funny, like in college, when I went to college like a little bit later. I went to college when I was like 24, but I remember someone heard me cursing in the hallway, and they were like, "Oh my God!" They're like, "I never like knew you would curse," and I'm like, "What?" Like I used to have like the person in my head wasn't the person that I was putting out in the world, and I was like, "You don't think I would curse?" And she's like, "Yeah, I always thought you were this like cute little perfect like praying like classical playing like lady. Like I never thought you could like drop the F-bomb." And I think it's like a similar thing for me. It's like on the inside I was like cursing going off in my head constantly, but in real life I was like so afraid to show that side of myself to people.
Right. I totally resonate with that. Like you're a full human being with like all these different facets to your personality, but like I've gotten that same exact thing before too. Even when I tell people that I do stand-up comedy, like people from work or people that I don't know so well. They're like, I could never see it. And I'm like, no, I'm like a funny person. Like I have parts to me that I don't show here, but it is difficult when you're naturally more like reserved and introverted, because that's how I am. People see me and they assume the same thing. They're like, oh, she's just so quiet and nice. And I'm like, no, I have
It's funny, you do have a nice like way about you, like you have like a very like pleasant tone of voice or something.
Thanks.
So I'm sure that's what they were talking about. Like you just seem like a nice person. But yeah, no, I in a weird way I almost think that could work to your benefit, because when this like person comes on stage and they seem so like nice and they like, you know, have some crazy stuff to say, I think it could actually be a nice stage presence.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, I guess for the audience, it's kind of jarring to see this, like what you thought I was or someone was, and then there's something different. It's like intriguing in a way.